Charlie Roadman, Austin criminal defense attorney, and today we're going to talk about obstruction of a highway, an explanation of how the Texas law is used as an alternative to a DWI conviction. So first, obstruction of a highway is in the Texas Penal Code 4203. It's a Class B misdemeanor. That means up to 180 days in county jail, up to a $2,000 fine. And I'm going to sort of loosely describe what it is. It's basically blocking a road or a highway. Typically, it's in the context of a protest, right? So if you're protesting and you and a group of people are walking down the highway or the road and interrupting traffic, that's what this charge basically is for. It's also if you are told by a police officer or fireman or something to leave some section of the road and their request is reasonable and you don't do it, you could be charged with obstruction of a highway or passageway. Now, how it's used in the context of a DWI case. First, it varies by county, and some counties may not have this option. It really is based on the policy of the county you're in. It's the obstruction of a highway. It isn't written in the penal code as an option. Okay, it's a workaround, meaning county attorneys were trying to figure out, okay, we got a case where the evidence isn't super bad, but we don't want to dismiss it entirely. So what we'll do is we'll sort of compromise, and we'll dismiss the DWI part, and we'll do this obstruction of a highway plea bargain offer, and it'll allow us to have this person on probation for obstruction of a highway. And so anyway, it's a compromise, it's a workaround. It's not really written into the penal code as an option for a DWI. It's just something that county attorneys around Texas have figured out, here's something we can do. Now the benefits, of course, the DWI is dismissed. That's the biggest thing, that's awesome. The DWI can be expunged as of 2021. And there's no surcharge or DPS fines, which is tough to describe because it's not real clear what they're calling them these days. But if the DWI is dismissed, you don't get charged with these extra surcharges or fines that are now part of a DWI. Now you can, of course, get fines or things as the component of obstruction of a highway probation. It doesn't look as bad on your record, of course. Obstruction of a highway is kind of, people don't even know what that means. And if you mess up obstruction of a highway probation, it doesn't turn back into the DWI. Okay, so the DWI has been dismissed. Now, will they offer you an obstruction on your DWI case? It entirely depends on the evidence and the policy of the county that you're in. Okay, basically every case has evidence, and if it's a really bad DWI, they probably won't offer this to you. If it's kind of a weak DWI, they might consider it. But I want to be clear, there are also other ways that DWIs can be dismissed depending on your county and different options, pretrial diversions and things that might be available. And some of these other options are better than an obstruction. Of course, some are not as good as an obstruction, which leads me to this end here, that your defense attorney will be aware of all the options and will advise you. All right, good luck.